Department of Agriculture Secretary, si Secretary William Manong Willidor. And it is composed of 23 national agencies who together oversee directions and action plans for 9 more subgroups, namely food resiliency, energy, food value chain and logistics, water, agribusiness, food procurement and distribution, economic intelligence, strategic communications, and aquaculture and fisheries. So this afternoon, I am honored to be discussing once again one of the most important projects of the Department of Agriculture, especially during this pandemic. So Kadiwa ni Ani at Kita was launched in September 2019 with the goal of bringing affordable and fresh agri-produce straight from the farmers to the consumer. So at reasonably low prices po, para maging accessible ang food natin dito sa metropolitan areas. Now, during the pandemic, the Kadiwa ni Ani at Kita was enhanced to provide access to quality agri-produce despite the limitations of the new normal. So to bring to you updates and so that we can see how far Kadiwa ni Ani at Kita has grown even during the pandemic, we invited today the resource person or the leader of the agribusiness department of the Department of Agriculture, the Assistant Secretary for Agribusiness, Ms. Christine Evangelista. Thank you, ASEC, for being with us.
Hi, May. Good afternoon. Nice to be here again. Yes. At magandang hapon po sa lahat ng nanonood ng inyong virtual presser.
Thank you, because we know you travel a lot, specifically to launch Kadiwa outlets. So how does it feel now, ma'am, that Kadiwa has grown this much? How far has it gone?
Well, we have a lot of areas covered, thanks to the regions as well, because it's not a program that is limited here in the NCR, but also the regions they've took it upon themselves. So sa region, marami po tayong mga Kadiwa doon. All the regions have their own Kadiwa. There are different versions. It has evolved, and definitely we have partnered not only with other government agencies, but also with the private sector. If you will see, these are the figures that we always look at to make sure that Kadiwa is still working for the advantage of our mga farmers and farmer cooperatives. The different modalities, you would also see the sales that it has generated. You can see in the Kadiwa on Wheels, we have 97 million. E-Kadiwa, which is practically like e-commerce, it's 20 million. We have the Kadiwa retail selling. This also includes the pop-up stores that we have, and that's 211 million. In the regions, 709 million po ang ating sales in Kadiwa. Aside from that, so what else is happening in Kadiwa right now? We have our total sales sa Kadiwa. That would be something like 7 billion.
I think
7.6 billion. Ayan po, 7.6 billion. And this is a figure we were able to get through our partnership with trading posts and also the farmers that we've consistently worked with. Kaya we know how many metric tons of vegetables are being sold through our Kadiwa. And I think most important to me is the number of beneficiaries. Yung ating farmer groups, we have already helped 44,000 farmer groups. And tuloy-tuloy po to. Through Kadiwa, we are also looking into grants because we'd like to capacitate them more. You would see now that from before, our Kadiwa on Wheels were mga jeeps. Noong panahon po ng pandemya in 2020, maraming mga jeep na may tarp lang ng Kadiwa on Wheels. Ngayon, truck na talaga siya. So, medyo level up
very
na yan.
nice.
So, aside from that, yung mga FCAs po natin, those are farmer cooperatives and associations na nag-avail sa grant. Because again, the Enhanced Kadiwa grant aims to capacitate our farmer cooperatives so they can be more active in different levels of the value chain as we've seen during Kadiwa. 104 po ang mga FCAs na nabigyan ng grant. Ang LGUs natin, 16. At ang SUCs, these are state universities, isa po. And most of them bought trucks because very important talaga yung logistics. Bringing the vegetables, the produce to the market is important. And that also gives them a better opportunity to have a better income as well.
On becoming, ma'am, a partner of Kadiwa, do we have credit programs available to the partners? And what are the modalities of these programs? How can one avail?
Well,
Yeah.
it's not really a credit program, but it's a grant.
Yeah, so it's a
Yes,
straight up
that is
grant.
how
Yeah.
generous DA
Okay.
is, and it's
Yeah.
our response, no, because we know that the pandemic has caused a lot of people to be displaced as far as their work is concerned, and we've seen also that agriculture is the one that really thrived. No,
Yeah.
we survived through the pandemic, and a lot of people in the farmer cooperatives were also able to help more farmers. So we have enhanced Kadiwa grant. We have different modalities din dyan. You can be a consolidator, an assembler. Through the grant, you can also buy trucks.
Yes.
And now we are pushing that through the grant, you can put up a Kadiwa store. So
Okay.
grant po yan. Again, hindi siya utang. It is
Yes.
actually a grant. But it goes through a good process to make sure that we are giving grants to those who deserve it and those who know how to manage the funds properly.
Okay. How about for the Kadiwa outlets here in NCR? From where po do we source the supply mostly?
Most of the time, of course, for our highland vegetables, no, that comes from Benguet. No,
Yeah.
we have baptisi, which is the primary source. We encourage our farmers to bring their produce to our trading post, which is baptisi, and from baptisi yan ang dinadala dito sa Metro Manila. Of course, we have Region 3 and Region 4 as well. Region 2, wherein we have NVAT and also Isabela Trading Post. So doon po nanggagaling mostly the
Yeah.
vegetables you see here in the market and also in our Kadiwa.
Okay. One of the more interesting spin-offs po ng Kadiwa is your partnership with community pantries. So
Yes.
there are spin-offs of community pantries with Kadiwa outlets. So how is this received po? Anong naging effect nito sa communities natin?
Well, we are supporting community pantries actually two ways. No?
Yeah.
One is we link our farmer cooperatives to those who organize community pantries. Now, the other way is we do community pantries ourselves. Even last year, DA has been going around, fire-stricken communities. This is together with the convergence team that was put together
Yeah.
by the Office of the President. So we would go to fire-stricken communities, those who had flash floods, and we would bring vegetables there.
For free?
Yes, for free.
Yeah.
Now that a lot of people notice that there's a community pantry works, and I think this is a time wherein we'd like to help everyone as much as possible, and a lot of people has that frame of mind as well, di ba? So yung mga farmers natin, they are benefiting from that kasi we link our farmers to the organizers of the community pantry, and then, so that's one method. The other method is DA mismo conducts community pantries. That way, yung mga oversupply din. Kunyari, there's so much kalabasa somewhere, no? Instead of itapon nila yun, kinukuha ng DA yan, and then we give it sa mga community pantries also.
How about with LGUs, ma'am, and private sector entities?
Well, sa private sector, maraming mga NGOs, no?
Okay.
And even the church, they're very active, even before. But it was, it was packed. And it was not looking like a palengke style.
Yeah.
But now, it has evolved. So we still have our partnerships with the Catholic Church. We have that in other sectors. Local government, even before, again, they've ordered a lot of vegetables and they gave it to their constituents. So tuloy-tuloy po yan. You just have probably may mga na-tweak lang kung ano yung setup. Pero again, tuloy-tuloy po tayong tumutulong sa mga gusto ring tumulong sa pamamagitan ng pag-link ng ating mga farmers dun sa mga nagko-community pantry.
Ma'am, do we have a figure po on how many community pantries we have established even in the regions?
In the regions,
We have,
okay. In the regions, I think community pantries have, let me see ha. Kasi marami na tayong ginawa, merong
Yeah.
mga donors, may mga volume of goods, no? But definitely all the regions
There.
have conducted their community pantries. The beneficiaries, I think these are mostly consumers, but looking from the DA point of view, we should also look at kung sino yung mga farmers,
Yeah.
farmer cooperatives that gave also, because we have cooperatives whom we help through our grant, and that their way of giving back is by donating to community pantries. Example po, meron tayong cooperative na binigyan natin sila ng 5 million through the Enhanced Kadiwa grant. And they took it upon themselves na mag-donate sa isang community pantry. Meron pong mga ganon. So it's nice to see that our farmer cooperatives, nagkaroon din ng parang, what you call that, social responsibility side.
Yes, yes.
And that also encourages us to give them more grants and knowing that they are really using the funds well.
So there's a sizable number of beneficiaries also
Yes.
in the regions na. And actually, I missed that part. Which regions have the most number of beneficiaries?
I think the region, well, we're looking at the volume of goods, no? Pinakamalaki sa volume of goods is Region 13.
Wow.
Maybe this is because mas marami silang ginawang community pantry. So, but it's nice to see that everybody from NCR to Region 13, dire-diretso ko yan.
How do you see Ma'am Kadiwa evolving further?
Way forward is, well, one of it, not naman, is a Kadiwa store. No? We opened a Kadiwa store sa Giginto. No? It's a convenience type store na you have a freezer, you have, it has a different feel altogether. I think it will also appeal to those who've embraced the culture of going to convenience stores.
Yes.
The idea is to have a fixed area because ang ating Kadiwa po, medyo pop-up stores siya. It goes to different places. Meron tayo sa mga gasoline stations, meron tayo sa mga malls, which actually have very, very good sales turnout, no? But another alternative, kasi tuloy-tuloy tayo when we look at alternative ways para ang ating consumers will have access to our agri-commodities. At the same time, our farmers, we find a place where they can sell. This is our way of opening market opportunities for everybody. It's not only retail, but also wholesale. And we'd like to be able to market match them, finding institutional buyers para tuloy-tuloy po. Once our producers harvest, meron tayong ready buyer, and the whole ecosystem really works.
Are we looking forward to more partnerships with the private sector?
Definitely, definitely. We've seen also na, partnering with the private sector may also mean mas mabilis nangyayari, no?
Yes.
And again, people are very conscientious now. They've seen the relevance of our farmers, and this is not a time to be taking advantage of anybody. So it's also, on the other hand, it's also a good business opportunity. Sabi ko nga lagi, ang aking battle cry is agribusiness is good business. And if you look at a Kadiwa store and you look at the figures kung magkano po ang nabebenta, like in Kainta, May, no? In Kainta, on a weekly basis, this is like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, ang sales nila umaabot sa mga 1 million plus. Pataas.
Wow.
Wala akong nakitang sales sa Kainta na 800,000. It's always 1 million pataas. So if you have, a knack for business, then you can look into having something like a Kadiwa store. Nakatulong ka na sa farmers, nakatulong ka sa consumers, kumita ka pa.
Impressive. Now, Kadiwa is not the only program of the Agribusiness Marketing Assistance Service, of which Ase Christine is the head. Last month, you also launched the Kabataang Agribiz Challenge. Could you kindly give us updates on this competition?
Yes, that was actually launched with you because we needed people who are young.
I was here,
So, thanks to you, a lot of people registered. Tuloy-tuloy po. The Kabataang Agribiz, this is our Young Farmers Challenge. This is a competition wherein we like the youth, to get into agriculture. Meron po tayong prizes dyan. On the provincial level, ang prize is 50,000. And then regional, it's 150,000. And then you go all the way to the national, which is like 300,000. So what do you need to do? You need to come up with a concept, a business type of thing on what you intend to do as far as agribusiness is concerned. Dapat merong innovation, di ba? Yan po yung mga hinahanap. And then online, you can apply online and tuloy-tuloy naman ang pag-mentor natin. Again, the idea is to encourage more youth to get into agriculture, mentor them, and practically give them a working capital to start their business.
Yes, very nice. And it's part of the youth engagement strategy of the 1DA reform agenda for 2021. So we are really prioritizing inviting more youth to go into agribusiness, and that's why it's one of the key projects right now of Agribusiness Marketing Assistance Service, or AMAS po.
AMAS, yes.
If you ever pop in over at DA, look for AMAS. Ma'am, ang phase na po, we are accepting applications,
We are accepting
right?
applications by June 15. No? By June 15, we will already decide sino ang nanalo sa ating provincial. So ito yung mga winners ng 50,000 pesos. 50,000 pesos. If I'm not mistaken, ilan nga bang mga winners? 300 yata. 300 o 150? ang ating winners ng 50,000 pesos. Then they move on to the regional, wherein, yun na nga, 150,000 naman.
And then
to the
300,000
national.
ba?
National is 300,000. So that's really enough for them to start their agribusiness. Kung ano man yung idea na binigay nila sa atin, ipinasa nila sa atin for the Young Farmers Challenge, pwede nilang gawin.
So mas-scale nila at every level. Okay. At this point now, we can take questions from our media friends. Again, thank you to our media friends for constantly monitoring the agricultural sector and for your interest in asking questions. From Mr. John Enriquez of DZAS, how do you determine if a place is suitable for Kadiwa?
Well, one is foot traffic. That's number one. Second is we also want to see yung proximity po ng mga palengke because we don't want to put anybody out of business. Now, if medyo malapit sa palengke, we encourage our Kadiwa outlets to be more on the wholesale side. Para yung tindera mo sa palengke, bibili ng wholesale sa Kadiwa, ibebenta niya sa palengke. Hindi ho tayo nag-encourage na mag-compete ang Kadiwa sa ating palengke because we also believe and we have programs that also help mga market vendors. Second is, of course, third is, the receptiveness of the LGU. It's very important na the LGU has a buy-in pagdating po sa Kadiwa because, again, this will serve their constituents as well. So those are the three factors that we are looking into. But so far, we've received a lot of good feedback and hopefully we'll be opening a lot of Kadiwa stores this year. Yan po ang ating target. Na parang as you can see all these mga stores mushrooming, sana ang Kadiwa din.
And the way it's going, I think nationwide na talaga yung scale. It's everywhere. Ako mismo bumibili sa Kadiwa. So there. Ito pa, medyo kind of a sticky question. May mga nagpo-post sa social media na may nabubulok na mga vegetables. Isa dito ang mga kamatis sa Liliw, Laguna. Ano ang gagawin ng DA? That's from Mr. Ray Pelayo of UNTV News.
Oh, hi, Mr. Ray. Nice to hear from you again. Well, number one, we got in touch, of course, with our regional office. Who got in touch naman po sa municipal agriculturist tsaka sa provincial agriculturist para hanapin. Importante kasi mahanap natin sila para malink natin sila sa buyers. While we continue to have mga buyers na naka-standby talaga. Any given time, pag sinabing maraming kamatis dito, we talk to buyers, bili ka agad, tuneto-neladang mga kamatis, kalabasa. And this is mga trucks. We've partnered with them, with these buyers for so long, so we are able to mobilize them quickly. But I think the long-term solution really is working closely with the local government para we come up with a cropping calendar. If we know what they're planting, when they're planting, and what the volume that they intend to harvest, bago pa nila mag-harvest, meron na tayong buyer na ready. Because, for our farmers also to continue planting, we have to make it worth their time. And the last thing we want is yung nagtatapon sila nung kanilang pinaghirapan.
Still in relation to surplus vegetables, from Mr. Clay Pardilla of PTV News, may mga insidente na tinatapon ang mga oversupply na gulay. So I wonder why this comes up in the questions. Ano ang mga reported oversupply ng gulay? Gaano kalaki ang oversupply at ano ang I think you answered that sufficiently.
More than oversupply, I think what we are strengthening right now, I'd like to call it market matching. With a very strong market matching, then we can address the issue of the seeming oversupply. We also would like to encourage yung ating mga farmers to be able to plant wisely. We can guide them naman, ano ba talaga ang hinahanap ng merkado, ano yung magandang pagkakitaan na produkto. Huwag ho kayong magtanim ng iisang produkto sabay-sabay, wala kayong buyer. But if we work closely with them, then we can guide them properly. At yung oversupply na po yan, we can address. Another one is, of course, we have Kadiwa, wherein, kagaya nga sabi ko, like maraming kalabasa, we bring it to Kadiwa, doon natin ibenta, Community pantries also nowadays are very favorable. So pati yung mga ganyang oversupply, pwede po natin dalhin yan sa Kadiwa at sa mga community pantries nang hindi naman po nalulugi ang ating mga farmers.
Yun naman pala po. Wag mag-abala, there's always Kadiwa. Okay. Kamusta ang programa ng DA na nag-uugnay sa mga restaurant at farmers para mabili ang kanilang produkto. Still, from Mr. Clay Pardilla of PTV News.
Last year, if I'm not mistaken, we started our partnership with Resto.ph. That partnership opened several doors. No? It not only gave us the opportunity to partner also with mga malls, wherein tuloy-tuloy yan. Meron tayo sa mga SM malls, sa Kadiwa, that part of it. But more importantly, yung mga institutional buyers came pouring in. No? Lalo na ngayon na nagbukas na yung mga restaurants, so meron pa rin tayong mga farmer cooperatives na nagsusupply na sa restaurants. It's a good way for our restaurant owners to be able to find cheaper agri-commodities. At the same time, sabi nila, meron silang CSR side din, the social responsibility side. And ang farmers naman natin, we continue to capacitate para they can supply what these restaurants need. Because restaurants are very particular, no? You cannot give them carrots this big. Diba? Pag sinabing carrots of the same size...
Akala ko the bigger the better.
Ay, hindi para sa carrots. So, pag ang carrots, ganito lang talaga. At pag sinabi mo magdi-deliver ka ng ganitong volume, araw-araw, kailangan panindigan mo yan. And that is where, again, AMAS comes in to capacitate them. High value comes in to make sure they produce the right quality. At yun na nga, not the bigger the better, but quality matters.
Okay. Questions over FB Live from Miss Cora Flores. Thank you for tuning in. Paano po magkaroon ng Kadiwa store?
Well, first is get in touch with us. We will help you find the suppliers, the Kadiwa suppliers, our partners, para you can find the best deal possible. Because we'd like to encourage you to sell vegetables. We also want to make sure that you get the right price nang hindi naman po nalulugi ang ating mga farmers. That's the role of DA. No? We always protect our stakeholders. Primary stakeholders are our producers. Consumers are also our stakeholders. And for agribusiness, ang mga nagnenegosyo po, kayo din po ay kasama sa aming mga pinoprotektahan. So please do get in touch with us, Ms. Cora, para we can guide you and we can look at the place where you intend to have a Kadiwa store. We can also help you if you intend to put mga bigas po, tsaka mga meat, pwede rin po yan sa Kadiwa store.
Yes, very friendly and accommodating po ang people sa AMAS. I can attest to that. Okay? Ma'am, ito po. May nagtatanong tungkol sa presyo ng mga pangunahing pagkain sa bansa. Kamusta ang pagbabantay presyo natin sa merkado? So may price monitoring din po
ang price monitoring po natin araw-araw yan. Actually, Monday to Saturday, we get reports. We have our team going around mga palengkes, not only in Metro Manila, but even sa region po, sinasagawa ang price monitoring. Tinitingnan po natin ang presyo dahil we also want to make sure na hindi tayo nakukulangan ng supply. If there are any movements in the price, we again work with our operations group to find out bakit may ganitong movement. Because sometimes, of course, babalik ka na naman sa law of supply and demand, and that also affects price stability. But monitoring-wise, so far, maganda po ang presyo ng ating mga gulay, pati po yung ating mga baboy ngayon ay maganda po ang presyo.
Speaking of baboy, ma'am, hog deliveries, estado ng pagpapadala ng baboy mula probinsya sa Metro Manila? So tuloy-tuloy po ang hog deliveries to Metro Manila. Ayan po, makikita po natin 6,222 heads as of today.
Correct. Every day po minomonitor yan ng ating operations team. They have reports dun sa mga movement ng hogs from what region to Metro Manila. And yan po yung ating nakikitang mga local pork na ibinebenta sa iba't ibang lugar.
And there are Kadiwa modalities po ba, ma'am, na concentrated lang on selling pork?
Well, we'd like always to have both meat and vegetables. Although we have a Kadiwa meat, we have a truck for that. But lagi naming dinidikit yan sa vegetables. Kasi we'd like, as one DA, we'd like yung buo, the whole concept, the whole caboodle all together. Para at the same time, convenient din po sa ating mga consumers that when you go to a certain place, ideally, you will have, you have the vegetables, you have isda on the go, which is our fish. And then we have the Kadiwa meat. Yan po yung ideal. But of course, there are areas na hindi tayo makabenta ng pork if wala tayong mga freezer. So those are the things that we're also strengthening para at the same time, local pork will also be accessible.
Okay. And siguro last question po, we have room for that. Maliban sa Kadiwa, ano ang ginagawang tulong ng DA sa ating magsasaka at mangingisda in terms of agribusiness?
Well, Aside from Kadiwa, again, I think that's the biggest program we have no, pagdating po sa agribusiness. We have the Enhanced Kadiwa grant, wherein we are giving working capitals for them to be able to strengthen their business, for them to be able to get into value adding, processing, and even logistics. No? So yung Enhanced Kadiwa grant, this is something new. We started this in 2020. So tuloy-tuloy po to. This year, meron na naman po tayong mga ipamimigay na grant sa mga farmer cooperatives and associations. Tuloy-tuloy din po ang ating market matching. We help them find buyers for their products and make sure na, you know, we make them sell their products at the right price, taking into consideration yung hirap nila, yung pagod nila. Minsan nakakalimutan kasi ng ating mga magsasaka na i-factor in yung kanilang labor, no, when they come up with their price points. But we guide them accordingly as well.
And I would like to thank you, ma'am, for overseeing the Kadiwa project kasi malaking revenue generator siya for the Department of Agriculture. Nakita po na talaga natin yung profitability ng farmers while tending to the needs of the consumers. So thank you, ma'am, for being with us. At this point, I just need to read a bulletin about Tropical Storm Dante, just to have an advisory for our farmers and fishers in the regions. Tropical Storm Dante is now moving west-northwestward and is heading towards the southwestern coast of Batangas. So as of now, the amount of damage and losses is at 16 million pesos, affecting 477 farmers, with volume of production loss at 505 metric tons and 780 hectares of agricultural areas in Soc-Sargen and Caraga regions. Affected commodities include rice, corn, and high-value crops. These values are still subject to validation. So, antabayan na po, baka may dumagdag na pa po na agricultural damage or baka naman wala na. Based on the combined data of CAR, Regions 1, 2, 3, 4A, 4B, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, the area of standing crops that may be affected by Tropical Storm Dante totals 337,000 hectares, or around 86% of the national standing crops. For rice, that's for rice, and 343,000 hectares, or around 82% of the national standing crops for corn. So we would like to assure farmers that help or assistance from the Department of Agriculture is on way. So to be able to prevent damage or to cope with the hazards of Tropical Storm Dantes. So the assistance comes in the form of the following: a total of 170,774 bags of rice seeds, 34,820 bags of corn seeds, and 11,227 kilograms of assorted vegetables from DARFOs. A Quick Response Fund, or QRF, for the rehabilitation of affected areas, drugs and biologics for livestock and poultry needs, Survival and Recovery Loan Program of Agricultural Credit Policy Council, ACPC, okay? Available funds from the Philippine Crop Insurance Corporation. This is very important to indemnify the damage, to indemnify affected workers. So as of per Pag-asa, the situation is that Tropical Storm Dante will move generally north-northwestward or northwestward and may pass near or in the vicinity of the southwestern portion of Batangas before it makes another landfall over Bataan tonight. Okay, so yun po yung areas na magiging affected ng Tropical Storm Dante. Again, Assistant Secretary Christine Evangelista, thank you for taking time from your busy schedule to be with us today to update us on Kadiwa.
Thank you for having me here, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to tell everybody kung ano na pong ginagawa ng agribusiness and marketing. No? Tuloy-tuloy po ang Kadiwa at makakaasa kayo na tuloy-tuloy po ang aming trabaho dito sa DA, looking for ways to be able to improve the lives of our farmers.
Thank you, ma'am. Looking forward to the next round of updates. Sa aming pagtatapos, muli kaming nagpapaalala sa lahat na dapat po ay tuloy-tuloy ang daloy ng pagkain at iba pang essential inputs para sa food production. Magtulungan po tayo para sigurado ang delivery ng mga pagkain at iba pang agri-products mula production centers hanggang pamilihan. Magkaisa po tayo para ang lahat ng pamilyang Pilipino ay magkaroon ng access sa ligtas, dekalidad at murang pagkain. Sa lahat ng miyembro ng DA family, ipagpatuloy po natin ang sama-samang pagkilos tungo sa isang food secure and resilient Philippines with empowered and prosperous farmers and fishers. Sa Radio TV Malacanang, PTV4, PCOO, Radio Pilipinas at higit sa lahat kay Secretary Martin Andanar. Salamat sa pagkakataon na ibinibigay ninyo sa DA at sa Task Group on Food Security. Please visit our website, da.gov.ph, or like our official Facebook page, Department of Agriculture Philippines. Para po sa mga past pressers na nais ninyong muling panoorin at iba pang videos ukol sa agrikultura, please visit and subscribe to the Ani at Kita channel of the Department of Agriculture. Muli, ako po si Frances May Ramos, sa ngalan po ni Assistant Secretary Noel O. Reyes. Magandang hapon and thank you for joining the 102nd Virtual Presser of the IATF Task Group on Food Security.
The Presidential Task Force on Media Security is relentless in pursuing its mandate to protect the life, liberty, and security of media workers. In safeguarding press freedom, the Philippines established a world record of 49 convictions on cases of media violence, including 31 in the Ampatuan massacre case. It was also the biggest mover in the CPJ's Global Impunity Index. Safeguarding press freedom is a Duterte legacy, a legacy of your PT phones.
Nagbabalik ang PTV Balita ngayon. Pinag-aaralan na ng Philippine National Police na gawing regular ang pagsasagawa ng neuropsychiatric test sa lahat ng kapulisan. Ayon kay PNP Chief Police General Guillermo Eliazar, kasunod na rin ito ng pamamaril na kinasangkutan ng ilang pulis. Magugunitang nitong Lunes, walang habas na binaril ng isang pulis ang nakaalitan umano nitong ginang sa barangay Greater Fairview. Hindi rin ito nalalayo sa nangyaring pamamaril ni dating policeman Junel Nuesca sa mag-inang Gregorio sa Tarlac. Handaan niya si Eliazar na makipagtulungan sa iba't ibang grupo at mga institusyon para mapangalagaan ang mental health ng isang individual. Samantala, muling magpapadala ng karagdagang COVID-19 vaccine ang Russia sa Pilipinas. Ito ang kinumpirma ng Malacanang kasabay ng isinagawang telesummit sa pagitan ni Russian President Vladimir Putin at Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte kagabi. Sa kabuuan, nasa higit 80,000 doses na ng Sputnik V ng Russia ang natanggap ng Pilipinas. Kaugnay nito, nakahanda rin si Russian President Putin na mag-import ng mga agricultural products mula sa Pilipinas at suportahan ang transportation, renewable energy at military modernization projects ng bansa. Lubos naman ang pasasalamat ni Pangulong Duterte sa commitment ng Russian leader. Narito na ang resulta ng Lotto Draw kagabi. Para sa Mega Lotto 645 Draw, ang winning number combination ay 25, 3, 31, 33, 2 at 10. Para naman sa Grand Lotto 655 Draw, ang winning numbers ay 13, 48, 40, 36, 39 at 34. Wala pa pong nakakuha sa mga jackpot prize ng Grand Lotto 655 at Mega Lotto 645. Para naman sa resulta ng 3D Lotto na binola kaninang alas 2 ng hapon, ang resulta 128. Habang sa 2D Lotto 1026. Antabayanan ang mga draw ng 642 Lotto at Super Lotto 649 mamayang alas 9 ng gabi dito lamang sa PTV. At yan ang mga balita sa oras na ito. Para sa iba pang update, i-follow like kami sa Facebook at Twitter sa @PTVPH. Ako po si Audrey Goriseta. Magandang hapon.
Alamin ang mga dapat gawin kung ikaw ay makaranas ng side effects bunga ng COVID-19 vaccine. Kung makaranas ng alinman sa mga sumusunod na sintomas, ipagbigay alam ito sa inyong LGU o tumawag sa vaccination site hotline para malunasan. Kung hindi naman malala ang sintomas, ay huwag magpanik dahil normal ito at mawawala rin sa loob ng 1 hanggang 3 araw. Upang maibsan ang sakit ng brasong tinurukan ng bakuna, ay maaaring mag-apply ng cold compress o banayad itong igalaw. Kung lagnatin, uminom ng maraming tubig, magpahinga. Kumain ng wasto at uminom ng paracetamol ayon sa abiso ng inyong healthcare worker. Kung lumala at hindi mawala ang mga sintomas sa loob ng 3 araw, agad na kumonsulta sa doktor o magtungo sa pinakamalapit na health facility sa inyong lugar. Tandaan na kahit nabakunahan, palagi ang pagsunod ang kailangan para tuloy-tuloy ang kaligtasan.
Para ihayag ang pinakahuling kalagayan ng COVID-19 crisis sa bansa,